was a false flag attack. I don't know why people are upset. Obviously, I don't have evidence and I'm not sure. Come on. What's the playbook over the last 20 years? We've seen this time and time again. The playbook is Israel needs to demonize Muslims so that they can continue bombing the Middle East to establish greater Israel. They need to demonize Muslims so that they can be the real terrorists and get American support. The thing is, Netanyahu doesn't realize that the post 9/11 hysteria is over. People don't buy it anymore, especially when their Mossad operation falls flat, when a Muslim man, Ahmed, steps in to stop the shooter. Rest in peace to everybody, and prayers to all the families for that tragedy in Australia today. But the reason I think it's a false flag attack, and obviously I wasn't there, I'm not Australian, I don't have concrete evidence. What I immediately saw transpire afterwards is Netanyahu get on stage and immediately take credit. He said, shout out to the Jewish man who stopped that shooter. It wasn't a Jewish man, his name was Ahmed. If you don't know the name Ahmed, it basically means Muhammad. It's not a Lebanese Christian. It's not a Jew like Netanyahu says. It was a Muslim man. Not only that, it's the first day of Hanukkah. And if somebody is skilled enough like that shooter, you could see him using a single bolt action rifle. This is a trained soldier. Australia does not have, they have some of the strongest gun control in the world. They don't have access to weapons like that. This is not an incapable man. This is a trained soldier who knows what he's doing. Why would he be stupid enough? Why would he be stupid enough? So let's see what the narrative is, right? If he's a terrorist, and first let's define terrorism. Terrorism is somebody who kills many people for political or religious gain. That's what America's doing right now. If we're going to judge it off of that, America killed 1 million people in Iraq based off of the 3,000 that died on 9/11. You can talk about what really happened on 9/11. Watch the Tucker Carlson documentary if you're going to call me an anti-Semite. 9/11, come on. The passports in the rubble. The war that was justified afterwards, the weapons of mass destruction that were never found. If we're going to say that terrorism is for religious or political gain, which is the actual definition, then America's the biggest terrorist in the world. Not only that, we do it to fund Israel. We do it to support Israel. Everybody can now admit that over the past 2 years, over 2 years since October 7th, what was going on in Gaza was a genocide. Why don't we call Israel terrorists? Bombing children nonstop for 2 years straight, killing innocent civilians for religious and political gain, that's terrorism. So if the narrative now is that this Muslim guy in Australia hates Jews so much, why would he kill these people on the first day of Hanukkah, strategically on a roof, making a big public display, knowing that that's going to be used to demonize Muslims and further the agenda of Israel right now? What kind of idiot would do that publicly on the first day of Hanukkah, knowing that they will use that event to justify more support and more money to Israel? He's not that stupid. Any Muslim knows that we get blamed. Muslims get blamed. One Muslim does something bad and all the Muslims get blamed. Let's be consistent. Let's say he is a Muslim shooter. Why are we calling him a Muslim shooter and not an Arab shooter or a brown shooter, wherever he's from? When Tyler Robinson assassinates Charlie Kirk, allegedly, we don't call him a Christian, do we? Do we call Tyler Robinson the Christian shooter? Born in Utah, probably grew up in a Christian or Mormon family? No, we call him Tyler Robinson and insist that he's trans. He's a trans libtard. We call him liberal. We don't call him Christian. Why not? Oh, because he didn't believe in Christianity. Okay, let's apply that logic. If that guy did kill a bunch of Jewish people on the first day of Hanukkah, do you think that guy really believed in Islam? Do you think that he was a good practicing Muslim? In fact, he was probably worse at practicing it, obviously worse at Islam than Tyler Robinson was at Christianity. But they don't apply that same logic. They blame all Muslims because they need to. They need to have one religion be called the terrorists. What they didn't prepare for, what Netanyahu was extremely upset about and Israel was extremely upset about, they didn't expect a Muslim man to go and ruin that whole strategy, ruin that campaign, to step in there and become the hero. That Muslim guy that stepped in, prayers to him, may Allah bless him and protect him. May God reward him in heaven when he does go. He's still alive for performing that heroic act, because that immediately outshined the rest of the narrative that they're trying to run with. The playbook is it's old. It's expired. We know by now. And I can see how angry the people that want to spread hate on Muslims are that hero stepped in, and they don't get to use this event to justify more hatred, to justify more propaganda, to justify expanding more and more nukes and more war. Because that's what happens with these events. They will use this, and they already tried to immediately, just like Netanyahu did when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, immediately tried to use it for their own political gain.